In today's era of football, where passing dominates, many aspects of the game have changed. The fullback is one of them. Fullbacks used to be crucial pass and run blockers. They were also seen as guys who could get you the tough yards. They've almost completely disappeared from the NFL rosters. But during the 1990s, as the league shifted from run first to pass first, one fullback stood out. He was a hybrid of what was and what today's running back will become. I'm Steven Jackson, and in this episode of Legends, we look back at one of the greatest fullbacks ever, Larry Centers. Larry Eugene Centers was born June 1st, 1968, in Tyler, Texas. Another great was from Tyler, by the name of Earl Campbell. As a boy, Larry dominated football at every level. When he graduated from Tatum High School, he earned a scholarship to Stephen F. Austin University. Larry was originally recruited as a wide receiver, but after he suffered an injury during his freshman year, the coaching staff used him as a scout team back. And when they did, they saw something special in him, both as a runner and as a pass catcher. His sophomore season, Larry was given a chance to be the lead back. He made things happen. Larry led Stephen F. Austin as a rusher and as a receiver during his junior and senior years. And after he led the Lumberjacks to a Division I AA national championship, Larry was on the radar of all NFL scouts. Larry entered the 1990 NFL draft at 5'10" and just over 200 pounds. He didn't have the speed or the pedigree of some of the other running backs that were taken in the first round. Blair Thomas of Penn State, Rodney Hampton of Georgia, or Emmitt Smith of Florida. But what Larry did have was a massive set of hands. At the 1990 NFL Draft, center hands measured 10.63 inches in the 99th percentile for running backs at that time. Larry was taken in the 6th pick of the 5th round when he was drafted 115th overall by the Phoenix Cardinals. He didn't see the field much his first 2 years of his career, but on November 3rd, 1991, Centers had his first NFL reception against the Dallas Cowboys. No one knew it at the time, but it was start of something big. Larry would have a catch in the following 127 consecutive games, the third longest streak by any pass catcher in the NFL history. Over the next few seasons, Center was lined up in the backfield for majority of Arizona snaps. He was a huge part of the offense as a pass catcher, a runner, and a blocker. And in 1995, Larry broke out. The Cardinals fed him early and often. He had at least 5 catches in each of the team's first 8 games. By the final weeks of the season, Larry was flirting with numbers previously only approached by wide receivers and tight ends. He finished with 101 catches, making him the first back ever to have more than 100 receptions. And until LaDainian Tomlinson did it in 2003, Centers was the only back to ever have done it. While Larry came up short of 1,000 receiving yards, his 962 was a high mark for backs as well. Finally, Centers finished with 1,216 yards from scrimmage and 4 touchdowns, all while blocking for Garrison Hurst, who rushed for over 1,000 yards. It was a sensational season, which is why Larry was named to his first Pro Bowl. In the mid to late 1990s, the Cardinals had a revolving door at quarterback and the running back position. Even receivers came and went. The only constant in their offense was Larry Centers. Larry would go on to play for Washington and Buffalo before making his way to the New England Patriots in 2003. After a 14-2 season and magical playoff run with coach Bill Belichick, Tom Brady and the Patriots, 35-year-old fullback Larry Centers won his first and only Super Bowl and retired. Larry finished his career as a first-team All-Pro, a 3-time Pro Bowler, and one of the most prolific pass-catching backs the game has ever seen. At the time of his retirement, Larry's 827 catches ranked 7th in NFL history for any pass catcher, 12 more receptions than Shannon Sharpe, 77 more than Michael Irvin, one of the most acclaimed receivers of the 1990s. And even with the explosion of passing offenses in the 20 years since Larry's played, he still ranks first in receptions for any player who didn't play wide receiver or tight end. In today's game, with his size, his hands, Center might as well have been a tight end himself. But in an era when big backs ruled and fullbacks were known mostly as blockers, Larry Centers stood out, not only for his capabilities of being a runner, a blocker, but an outstanding receiver. The game has changed over the years. there's one constant. Great players, they show up. And quite often, Larry Sanders did, which is why he's a legend.